Hi, I'm Jordan Ellens. This is my model Tess. Today I'll be doing a contour highlight look and finishing it off with an eye makeup look. Hope you enjoy. So first I'll start with your contour. Today I am using the Lorac palette with a couple different bronzers, and then I'll finish it off with an Anastasia highlighter. So because you have such beautiful cheekbones, I'm going to accent that with, start off with a lighter contour color. And you just want to sweep it right underneath your cheekbone to kind of create that beautiful shadow and push it up towards the hairline. And then I always like to just kind of blend it all in so it looks a little bit more natural. Same thing on the other side with the light contour color. And I always like to keep the light contour going. So with that, I'm going to put a little bit on her forehead. Just so that it'll make her forehead look a little bit smaller and also frame her eyes a little better. And kind of draw in attention to those beautiful green eyes. And I just take a little bit, put a tiny bit under the chin. And then I'll go back in with the deep contour. Lightly take the brush with the deep contour, and right in this little pocket of the cheek is where I would like to put that. Just because that'll add more dimension to it, and make it look a little bit more realistic and less like a bronzer. And just blend that right in. And I like to bring the rest of remaining on my brush a little bit up to the hairline as well. So now that I have my contour on the cheekbones and the forehead, I'm going to go in with my highlighter. Today I'm using the Aurora palette from Anastasia. I am also going to use Eclipse. It's the lighter, kind of more peachy tone color. I think it'll go great with the more like bronzy look we're going for, and then I'm also going to do more of a nude eye. And so I feel like that'll go really well with it. I'm going to use a little bit of like a fluffy blending brush for this one, because I want my contour and highlight to be a little bit more concentrated. So right on the top of the cheekbone where the light naturally hits is where I'm going to be putting this. And I always start out with a little bit, and then I can build on top of that. And I also really love hitting kind of the bridge of the nose, just slightly, because she has just a little bit of a bump here, so I want to make it look like that's disappearing. So I always love to hit the Cupid's bow too, and also a little bit underneath the bottom lip. So now I'm going to go into the eyes. I'm going to do kind of like a day smoky eye. I'm primarily using the Smashbox palette with a couple of their lighter colors, and then I'll be using a black from the Kat Von D palette. So I'm going to start using my base shade, this one right here. I'm right on top of the eyelid. I'm also going to use more of just like a finer pointed brush because I really want to pack on that powder. So I'm going right on top of the lid, and I'm just going to sweep it kind of right above her crease. Same goes for the other eye. I'm kind of doing like a windshield wiping motion, just to really saturate her lid with the color, and also to blend it too. So now I'm going to go into my more peachy shade, and I'm going to put that right kind of in the center of her eyelid, close to the lash, just to kind of accent that color. And I'm not going to go past her crease, just because I feel like she has more of a hooded eye. So anything that goes past that crease is going to make it look a little off. So now I'm going to go in with this kind of more like a taupey shade on the end. This is going to be your outer crease color. Still using the same brush with the finer point. I feel like this will give me a really good line to kind of create that drama. So starting at the base of the lashes, I'm going from out to in to kind of create that little bit of a cat eye that I'm wanting. And that's going to open her eye up a little bit more. And then I'm also, if you want to turn your face, I'm also going to create more of like that V shape on the outer edge. And notice I'm not going above her crease, just because I want to have that really soft, kind of subtle smoky eye. And I'm just all blending it together in with the other shadows. And I'm going to stop kind of right at the center of her eye. And then just kind of blending it outwards. And I'm also going back and forth from each eye to create a level of symmetry between them, because each eye is a little bit differently shaped. I want them to look more even. So now I'm going to do underneath her eye. I'm still going to continue with that kind of brown taupe color on the end. If you want to look up. And I'm just going to smudge a little bit kind of on the bottom outer corner. And then at the end of that, I'm going to take kind of more of my fluffy blending brush and go over just the outer edges of this, just to kind of blend it in and refine it with the other eyeshadows. So now that I have this kind of more blended and refined, I'm going to go in with the Kat Von D palette. I really enjoy this black just because it is more of a matte black. And this is going to be kind of the final depth to my eyeshadow before I go in with the eyeliner. So I'm just going to start at the lash line to disperse most of my color. And then just bring it up and blend it right into the crease where I stopped with the more taupey brown. And now I'm just using short little motions to blend it all in. Same goes for the other eye. Starting at the lash line again and bringing it up towards the crease. And I'm always just kind of pulling it down. And with my excess, kind of just drawing that over the crease again, just to blend it all together. So now for the bottom lash line, if you want to look up for me, I'm just going to add a little bit more drama underneath her eye. So I'm going to go with that black color again. Kind of just pat a little bit of that black and smudge it in there. Alright, now I'm going to move on to the eyeliner. I'm going to do a soft cat eye on test today. I'll be using the Tarte Gel Eyeliner in black, and then I'm also using the Stila Gel Eyeliner brush. I love this brush. I think it's amazing for kind of getting right into the corners of the eye, and for also creating that really nice wing. So I just take a little bit of the product on my brush. I really like to load it up because I like a really nice clean line. If you want to. So starting, I'm going to lift her eyelid just a little. And right at the corner, I'm just going to kind of draw little notches on her eye. So now I finished doing the wings on her cat eye. I'm just going to go back with a little bit of that black eyeshadow, look up for me, and just blend in the bottom of her eyeliner. Just to make more of a cohesive look. And then kind of stretch the dark from the outer just right over to the middle of her eye. And then to kind of finish it off, I am going to take this shimmery kind of white, and I'm going to do more of just a flat-ended eyeshadow brush. And that's going to go right into the corner of her eye. You want to close? And I like to just pop it right in there. And that'll tie it all together. And then for the brow bone, you can use a shimmer if you want to, because her eye's a little bit more on like the demi matte kind of low shimmer. I'm just going to take more of this white matte eyeshadow and just go right underneath the brow bone, because that's really going to accentuate her eyes and her eyebrows. And we'll finish it off with a little mascara, move on to the eyebrows. So for mascara, I'm going to use the Buxom Big T's mascara because she has more straight eyelashes. I want to give it a little bit more volume, a little bit more curl. And I'm just going to do one coat of this mascara. So if you want to look down for me, just kind of wiggle those lashes so that they get some separation and some lift. And I always like to have them look down just because they can blink whenever they want to, and I don't have to worry about poking them in the eye. And then I love doing a little bit of mascara right on the bottom, especially if you're doing more of that like smokier eye, just because then it'll give it a little bit more of that X factor. Okay, look up. Now moving on to the eyebrows. She already has really full eyebrows, so I'm just going to help her give a little bit more fullness, a little bit more dimension to her eyes and really create that nice border. I'm going to start with using my Benefit Brow Powder, and that is going to be for the base for the eye. I use an angled eyeshadow or eyebrow brush. It's a little more stiff, so you can control it a little bit easier. Just take a little bit of that powder, and right underneath her eyes where I'm going to create that line. And I always like to stop kind of where the corner of her eye is, straight up is where the eyebrow should stop. That is kind of like the optimal place. I draw the line up to the arch, and then I turn my brush and I angle that downward to create the tail. And then I kind of am just going to lightly fill it in with the excess powder, just mimicking where her natural brow hair stops. And then going up just a little farther. And because the front of her eyebrow, she doesn't have a whole lot of hair, I'm going to take my second product, and that's going to be the Smashbox Taupe Skinny Pencil. I'm going to create those natural hairs by just kind of flicking my pencil upwards. So starting from the bottom, I just like to draw little short lines here, and that's going to give me that brow hair that I'm looking for that she doesn't necessarily have to begin with. And I'm going over some of that eyeshadow powder, or the brow powder, excuse me, with my brow pencil. And then coming up in the front just a little bit. And then I'm looking at the other side of her eyebrow and seeing the top here needs to be just a little bit more filled in. So I'm just going to take my skinny pencil and go right over that. And then finishing it off in the tail. And last but not least, I am going to use Gimme Brow. It is a brow gel with microfibers in it. And that's going to help to set the powder and the pencil. And with this little brush, I'm going to go straight upwards to kind of blend all the products together and also mimic those short strokes that I was doing at the front of her eyebrow. And also just to kind of get any of the hairs in front here. And this is going to set it for the rest of the day so she can have these fabulous eyebrows all day. Thank you for your consideration. This was my look for the technical interview for the contour, highlight, and eye makeup look, finished with some eyebrows. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy.